Welcome back to Rand Film Reviews.
I am Randall. This is my amazing, awesome friend Mac, and we are back with apocalyptic proportion reviews.
Oh, I like that. Just thought about it.
Yeah, I was trying to think because the last one I said feast of a review.
It's not written in your hand or anything.
No, nothing.
Right.
Yeah, apocalyptic
Improv.
proportion review.
Yeah, we're coming back to you with the fourth installment of the REC series,
Yep.
and along with George A. Romero's Diary of the Dead.
And we decided to do this because we saw the trailer for Diary of the Dead in the Feast DVDs, right?
Yeah, because it's all by Dimensions Extreme.
Yeah.
So
we saw the clip in there. I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't seen that one.
mm-hmm.
And then we realized mid-Feast review that I look upon the peripherals of my skull and see that I have it in a stack of DVDs that I had recently purchased like 3 months ago.
It's been 3 months. Give or take, yeah,
So,
it's sporadic.
Give or take, yeah, like 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I noticed that we had it there. I was like, oh, well, you know what? Since I have it, you know, we should probably do a double feature of two found footage style genre of movies, right? Even though we'll discuss on Rec 4, but we discussed Rec 1 and 2, which are found footage. Diary of the Dead ends up being also found footage. Very similar to how Rec 2 is more than Rec 1, but in that same vein. And came out the same year.
Yeah, you
as
thought
Rec.
you even said it like, oh, I think these movies came out the same year. We looked it up.
Yeah.
And yet, Rec 2? No,
Well,
Rec
it
1.
was Rec 1. Yeah, but my thought immediately was like, holy shit! Did one of them like get the idea from the other? When did they release? When were they filming? To kind of get an idea if maybe somebody got a lead on, you know, doing a found footage kind of movie when it comes to something zombie related.
Yeah, both of them were released in the U.S. February of 2007, was it?
Mm-hmm.
I believe so. And both of them were released in like film festivals before that.
Yeah.
So,
but it was all around the same timeline. So the chance or the possibility of them having heard of each other at any point seems very minimal, just coincidental. But
yeah, because there's a scene where I was telling Randall, like, and here it seems like, you know, they went in quarantine with guns, just like certain scenes from Rec 1 and 2. So it's like, you know, things align. But overall, it's different movies. But yeah.
To give you the quick little background, so the Rec film series is something we already did a full review on. If you want to go ahead and check that out, you can see it's one of the more recent posts, so you can see the full review on that. But Rec 1 and 2 were based inside an apartment building that got quarantined after an infection spread inside the building.
Due to a senor, no, it's not even a senor, it's a dog.
No, not the dog. Remember, it wasn't the dog. Well, we found out because of the dog.
Yeah,
they found out that they needed to quarantine the building because of the dog. But there was a man from the Vatican living in the top floor
the penthouse,
with a possessed child named
Cristina
Medeiros. And they were trying to find an antidote because her form of possession could be transmitted through bites, apparently. And
through various ways in this franchise. Different ways.
Yeah, but ultimately, it was a contagious form of possession.
Yeah.
And all controlled by the same creature, which was contained inside of Medeiros. We find out in the end of Rec 2 that there is something that looks kind of parasite-like, or something that looks like a creature, something worm-like, is what was inside the Medeiros girl, and it gets transferred into
Angela.
Angela, the
the
beautiful,
protagonist.
amazing Angela that does an incredible role as her character is Angela Vidal.
Yeah.
But we never get any answer to what that was. Rec 3 was a disaster.
And basically, it's the only film out of the franchise that the character Angela Vidal is not in it.
She's mentioned at the beginning because
Yeah.
you do see, well, not mentioned, but you do see a scene of
first,
the apartment building.
Yeah, that's the only, like you said,
in the newscast, and that's it.
connection.
Yeah, it was ongoing at the same exact time as the situation that Angela was in. So she
Correct.
had yet not been involved in everything that was happening.
Yeah, correct. And like I said, Angela, she's in Rec 1, 2, and 4.
Yeah.
The only, would you say, character that's in all 4 of them, or mentioned, basically, it's the Cristina Medeiros, the possessed girl.
Yeah.
Part 4 is the only one that she's not physically there. She's just mentioned.
And seen by the video when they review the footage.
Yeah, but she's not physically in, the setting. But yeah, she's shown.
Yeah.
What's amazing is the actress that plays Angela. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name. But from Rec 1 to Rec 4, about give or take 7 years have passed. And Brandon, would you say did she even age?
She did not look it.
Looks the
she
same.
looked exactly the same as she did.
No wrinkles, nothing. It's just
Yeah.
Same gorgeous face.
Yeah,
Just crushing on her. Just,
yeah, she is.
she's amazing.
Yeah, she is really good. Her name is Manuela Velasco.
Okay.
Spanish actress. Well, the film series. If you haven't seen the previous review and you're seeing this one for the first time, it is a horror series from Spain. So majority of all the actors, if not all the actors, are Spanish.
Spanish. They do have English subtitles, so that's that. If you don't like reading while watching, then hey, just take a quick guess and see what's happening.
But Rec 4 takes different shape because it goes back to Rec 2 when Angela is rescued from the building. At this point, nobody knows that the parasite had been inserted into Angela via mouth.
Not even her.
Yeah, she was unaware at this point that anything was inside of her. But we see a group of 3 military officials go into the building to go rescue the one lone survivor. And
don't they go into basically detonate the building?
Yeah, but also rescue the one lone survivor. Because remember, the end of Rec 2 was her having the voice of the priest.
Oh yeah,
saying there's one survivor, and they're gonna go, okay, we're gonna send somebody in. So they were gonna destroy the building anyway. There is the comic book series that mentions that they don't save the other 3 kids two kids that are in the house. They end up killing them because they're informed that there was only one survivor. But we go from seeing their survival and their removal from there to immediately one of the cops waking up inside of a ship, right? And we didn't know, because obviously all we saw was the front of the cover. We didn't look too much into detail of this, but I was like, oh, is it going to be on a cruise, or is it going to be, what is it going to be exactly to detail? It ends up being like
let me show you guys.
A facility on sea. And
it's an oil tanker.
Yeah, it's like an oil tanker type of vessel, but basically a lab on the sea. And we discussed a little bit of like the reasoning behind that, because Mac was like, oh, like the ship thing, and I was like, well, the only thing I can make any sense of it for me would be is if you're talking about a contagious, volatile disease or virus that can spread that much, then you're going to want to take it off land and put it in a secluded space where there isn't a chance of spread.
If it spreads, it's just that little, spot.
So that's what they did, I believe. I think that's, at the end, I think that's what it was. We get more insight behind the person who signed off the Medeiros papers, which was Dr. Ricarte.
Ricarte, the scientist. So this one, like I said, from part 1, part 2, it's like, zombie, possession, demonic. And part 3 it's like more survival. And then part 4 it's they say it's a mixture of the zombie infection and was it survival and
it's
scientist?
action. It's action thriller.
Action 3, yeah.
Action thriller with survival note to it, which takes it back to the original 2 for me.
But the only thing this one that doesn't have what the first 3 have is the found footage. There's no camcorders, just straight cinematography, straight film.
Which was one of the things that concerned me because it was what I liked the most out of 1 and 2. And what most people were enticed by when it came to 1 and 2. It's what gave it the acclaim it received and the notoriety it received. It was all because, they made such a great film out of this whole, first person type of view, POV, whichever way you want to place it.
We did have the surveillance cameras from the ship, but that didn't play too much into the movie. It's just...
I mean, it was significant at times, but yeah, you're right. It wasn't anything that was primary in the movie itself. But after we saw part 3, I had no hope at all in part 4 because it was already understood that they didn't go the route of the found footage or anything like that.
Yeah, and then we read that. Well, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, I just mumbled. But when we read that after part 2, both directors, Jaime and Paco, they split. Again, we mentioned that in the last review for REC 1 through 3. So Paco did part 3, and then Jaime came back for part 4. So we talk about maybe they just thought let me film it without camcorder, let me do it my own way. Which I remember watching this film when it came out. I wasn't a big fan, but then rewatching it now with Randall, I liked it even better.
So what I wanted to point out with this one was more so that they got back in touch with the original storyline more. And that's what I liked, that they retraced their steps back to the original. I had no hope for this one, but Jaime really found a way to make it work. And although it doesn't compare to 1,
not at all.
None of them compared to 1. 1 gave you more of a suspense, it made the blood pump a lot harder. It had great jump scares. Still, I will never forget that singular jump scare that nearly made me jump through a wall.
Yeah, but this one did.
It did have jump scares. It did have some jump scares. Nothing as prominent as the one from 1, but it did have that kind of feel to it. It did have more of that than 3, and going back to Angela and following her story throughout this whole entire thing made it so much more significant. And not just because she's a beautiful woman and anything like that. It's just in general, her character and the story behind everything she went through was more important to me or significant to me in the film series as itself.
Correct.
And leading to finding out what's gonna happen to her. Because all we saw was that she ingested a parasite or some shit, and then it was over. And then we never saw anything again.
So basically what Randall said, the storyline is just amazing. So if you want to watch them storyline based, you could go 1, 2, and 4 and skip part 3 and watch part 3 on your own time.
Yeah.
But if you look at part 1, 2, and 4, it's just like a sequence, just back to back.
The only tie between 3 to any of it is there is an old lady on the ship with them who is apparently the lone survivor, which is a lady we never met. At least I don't recall.
Or shown, I think.
I mean, I would have to go back and watch 3, and I don't even know if I want to do that for this reason. But she's supposed to be a relative of the groom of Coldo from part 3.
The grandmother,
And they mentioned the wedding more than a few times. They mentioned that, the outbreak also happened in Barcelona, which was the wedding itself. Ultimately, it was a fun movie. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a much better job with it. knowing that they also didn't have like, what was the budget on this one?
It was about 3 million.
Was it 3 million? I know the box office says they made 4.9 million. I'm trying to find out what the budget was for it because
About 2 or 3 million, I believe so. But what I liked about 2, most of the film was filmed in the actual oil rig, and some scenes were filmed in custom sets where most of the crew had to be in it. But yeah, it kind of gave you a little claustrophobia type feeling, but nothing compared to part 1 and 2. So that was good.
Yeah, budget was 3 million euros.
3 million, okay.
Yeah,
here you go, 3 million.
Yeah, 3 million euros, which, in conversion would be, maybe 3.2, 3.3 mil.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a fun film. I thought it was a fun film, and I enjoyed that they gave you continuation to the storyline. There was a little bit more consistency to what originally happened.
Yeah.
It gave you further details. You had a more evolved version of the possession.
Yeah.
They got really creative with the set design, really creative with the effects on costume. They added the notion of the monkey being involved as well.
Yeah, so
animals being involved.
With the animal and scientific, science being more involved into it, so they bring in the host, a monkey.
Yeah.
Which made me think about Dead Alive.
It was different how they did it. What they did was one of the cops took blood from the scene, and then they used it to put it into a healthy host, which was the monkey, and then the monkey turned. And they held it down because they wanted to try and create an antidote using the monkey, believing that the blood they injected into that monkey was directly from Mededo, or from that same line, since it was in the original house.
Yeah, so
but then they realized, kind of like what happens with viruses, and people have realized also with COVID nowadays, is that viral strains like that can
made them stronger, right?
Can change or mutate or evolve to different levels when it's introduced to a different host. So, hence the birth of, let's say with COVID, where you got the European version, and you got different versions of it, that the Delta variant and all those variants that kind of came out of coming out of different people's body, and how it mutates through those, because every cell kind of manifests itself in different ways. Yeah, so it's that kind of theory that goes into, okay, now we're seeing a version of the monster, the possessed zombie, that had more control for a bit until he finally lost it all, which we saw with the chef, which was the first person to turn from a bite from the monkey. Yeah.
And what Randall was saying, one of the cops from the beginning rescuing Angela from the building, unbeknownst to us and to his partner Guzman, he takes a sample of the blood, and then once they find this out, just trust breaks amongst everybody on the ship, I believe, or amongst a lot of people on the ship.
And we don't know who knows what. We don't know who is who.
Exactly.
We start finding out that people have other secrets.
Yeah, different
that'll
orders,
be a spoiler, so I'm just going to leave that one there.
Different orders that were given to them.
Yeah. So there's a lot of extra details that end up happening there, but all in all, Angela, kick ass. Glad that she made it back.
Yeah, you got brand new characters.
Nick was great.
Likeable characters, yeah.
We had who was another character that kind of hit well was Captain Ortega was a good character in the movie.
Yeah, he was nothing to hate on him, or So
yeah, they did pretty good. Ricardo was obviously the more villainous role, because he is introduced as the person who helped push this through in a way. So
yeah, what I loved about it, certain things happen, of course, in the movie, and they just stick to the rules. I just love it. There's rules. We got to find an end to this, etc.
Yeah.
Again,
single bite, no waiting, no nothing. As soon as you're bit, sorry, buddy. You know the rules. Rules is rules. You're done.
Exactly.
Shoot to the head.
So they use some special effects, some CGI with the blood, compared to the other films. The zombies were pretty good.
Yeah, they did. I believe they did.
I think they're pretty good. What I liked about it was like basically like the mouth area. They used more like what I put it, like more realistic.
More detailed features.
Details, yeah. There you go. You know.
Yeah, more detailed features.
More exposed teeth, like ripping of the lips, the skin.
Yeah.
A lot of like melting areas. It was just super well done.
Yeah, they did a really good job with it. Fun movie, man. It was a really fun movie. I think that was a great culmination. It made me not regret buying the collection, the 4-set collection, and only know that there's one movie in that collection that I care little about. But ultimately, it made it worth it. It did make it worth it. Because the movie itself was, for me, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, like I said, if you go ahead and watch it, stay tuned for...
Let's clear that up. You won't be able to find it anywhere online. It's not on any streaming service. It's nowhere to be found. The only way you can get it is by fucking buying it. That's the only reason we were able to obtain it. I had to fucking buy it because we could not see it anywhere else.
Yeah.
But I wanted to finish watching the series, regardless if it was going to make me a disappointed person or not. So I went ahead and did the purchase of the series because I just needed to know. And
thanks to Amazon, that came like what, in a day or less?
Yeah, like it was literally a day. It was literally a fucking day.
So yeah, again, you watch this, stay after the credits. There's a little scene.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not a spoiler, but you're not gonna get a fifth film.
It opened the door for the possibility. Without giving away anything about survival or any of that with anybody, but it does open the way for there to be a possibility for a continuation. At this stage, as we know, there is no plan for a continuation. There's nothing in the works. So we may never see it happen again. But, knowing the door is there, maybe somebody in the future wants to try and pick it up. Maybe somebody wants to do something later on and continue it.
The Bloodline
maybe the people that do 30 coins, because they do good shit.
Yeah, it's on HBO Max. That's a TV show, a Spaniard TV show. But yeah, or maybe their Bloodline, somebody like a kid in the future. But yeah, Rec 4 in the box office did about like 900 million. 900,000. And then the DVD sales, it did about 4 million.
I see on Wikipedia the best box office is 4.9 mil.
Wasn't that the total of the DVD sales or the?
I'm saying that as complete box office is 4.9 million. It might have made an additional on DVDs, but as far as I see here,
so basically, look,
the full box office
was 900,000 DVD.
Well, domestic, international counts as well. So complete total box office is 5.3 mil, and then in DVD sales, it made an additional near 5 mil. So it nearly made $10 million. Actually, it did make $10 million overall. Yeah, it made $10 million overall. Rec 4, definitely much more deserved. Because it definitely did not feel like a low budget, or definitely didn't feel like out of poor quality or Sharknado-like. And Rec 3 for me had very Sharknado-like moments and very corny or stupid little jokes or things like the guy wearing the fucking armor. Yeah, like they had little things that just made no sense to me. But Rec 4, let's go to the culmination of this. Where do you place it when it comes to rating Mac? Do you go all the way up to 10? Or where do you put it? On a scale of 1 to 10, where does Rec 4 land for you?
So, like I said, again, the second time around, I enjoyed it way more. Again, watching it back to back from part 1, 2, and 3. I'd say I give it a 7 out of 10. It just made it better. Completed the thoughts I had, the questions I had compared from part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So overall, it ended in a way that I was satisfied. Of course, there's more questions and stuff that I'll never get answered, but that's okay. Never get the full answer to a lot of questions. What about you?
I give it an 8. I give it an 8 out of 10. And I think the reason is where you're going. We got a lot more answers than we had before. We got left with a lot of questions because we still don't know the origin of it at all. We don't know how the parasite was created.
That would have been a great fifth installment.
Yeah, because you would have at least gotten that final answer. But we know that there's a possessed kind of demon parasite thing that can transfer from host to host.
It's like a little worm in the Mexican drink.
Yeah, it's basically what it is. But I mean, I feel like the action in it was great. I feel bringing back Angela just made it so much better for me. We got original footage from the first movie and saw clips of a lot of things that just kind of gave you that remembrance of like, man, everything just made sense. It made it work, and there was consistency through it. We still got left with questions, but questions that don't ruin it, and questions that don't spoil it, and things that just don't look ridiculous, which we saw so much of in 3. And that's probably why I'm pushing this one more, is because 3 disappointed me so fucking much. Like, fucking Paco Plaza needs to, like, not do that again. Yeah. Because, man, it was not good.
But yeah, overall, that's Rec 4 Apocalypse for you guys.
Yeah.
Mind you, even though in the title is Apocalypse, there's no apocalypse per se, but we talked about that. And if you do watch the movie, you'll see why.
Yeah, to a degree, it's a reference thing. Like, they mention... like this is going to be the end of days kind of situation now because we're not going to be able to stop this. We can't recover to make an antidote. Because to make the antidote, they need Medeiros original blood strain, and the only way you can get that is going to be with the original host that contains the original parasite. Yeah. So without getting the blood extracted from that, you're never going to get an actual antidote. So that's where we lie. Oh man, I just thought of something, but I can't mention it because then it would spoil. Let's just jump to Diary of the Dead. George Romero continuing the Dead franchise with Diary of the Dead. It was in a found footage style. He decided to do this. It was an independent style film, something like how he did with his original Night of the Living Dead. The master, the man who brought us zombies in the form that we know and love.
Yeah.
Like, you know, one of these guys. The ones that you have to shoot in the head to stop.
Exactly.
George Romero, the king of the zombies, the master of horror, one of the best to do it when it comes to zombies, brings us this different outlook, this different version, a different perspective of film when it comes to the zombie, the Diary, or the Dead series franchise that he's created. Oh, exactly. And it is in that found footage style, point of view style, and definitely is much different than anything we've gotten from Romero before.
Yeah, exactly. Because he wanted to go back to the roots.
Yeah.
Basically, it takes Diary of the Dead. Basically, in Romero's words, it takes place during Night of the Living Dead, which is the 1968 version, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you try and put that into logical or actual perspective, rough to look at that because, you know, there was, like, you know, the generational gap between the both films. But in the perspective of what Romero's presenting is that this is going on, the outbreak is happening
worldwide,
for the first time. And that's what we got with Night of the Living Dead. It was the beginning of the outbreak. It wasn't like how it is with like Land of the Dead, where everyone's fully aware that zombies exist and fully aware of that this is new life.
Yeah, Night of the Dead, where the opening scene is just it's everybody's dead, or the majority of people are dead already. They've been battling zombies for God knows how long. But yeah, Diary of the Dead. I actually enjoyed it more again watching it with you. It's gonna happen, you know. I told them before we watched it, I had a love-hate relationship towards this. But, you know, found a lot of fun facts.
The DVD helped a lot. There was extra things that weren't a part of the movie that I feel should have been a part of the movie. But to give you a little bit of an idea or the concept here is it's film students who are filming a movie.
School project.
And they're doing a horror movie, a mummy movie, which is the reason why we have a little mummy shark there too. They're trying to film their own version of the Mummy, I guess, or something, and then they hear the news over the radio detailing what's going on, which is that there is now dead coming back to life.
Yeah, and everybody's like Randall was saying earlier, it's the first outbreak ever, mention of it, so the journalists, everybody reporting is like, oh, maybe these are pranks. There's a lot of people in on it. How could it happen? Like, what's the reason behind it?
Yeah.
So it's the first time ever you're hearing it. So these kids, college kids, are just some are scared, some are just like, I don't believe it.
Oh, the cliche. You get the cliche. You get the jockey kind of guy in Tony. You get the rich boy in Ridley, who he was the one dressed as the mummy and runs away quickly. You have the
stuck up,
Yeah, I guess she was kind of. I don't know if she was like fully stuck up, but she was.
It's all about me.
She's not really like a cliche character either, because she's not. She wasn't the blondie.
She wasn't.
I don't know what the fuck's going on type of character.
But she was more about just about her.
Yeah.
How she's gonna be a movie star and whatnot.
Yeah. And then we also had Jason Creed.
Jason Creed, aka Jay, which is the director of.
He's the one filming everything. He was the one originally filming the
Death of Death. That's the film he was filming for his school project.
No, he was filming a regular movie, and then he called the footage the documentary.
When everything started happening, the Death of Death.
The Death of Death. But he is the person behind the camera trying to document everything, and everybody's looking at him like he's crazy, because how could you be thinking about filming everything when everyone around is dying and the dead are coming back to life? How can you be so concerned with filming this when everyone's going to be dead? And they did a lot of trying to make the cameraman an antagonist throughout the film.
Yeah,
and that was a little rough on me, because I was like, okay, I get it, just fuck up already.
Yeah, because basically things happen, people get attacked, and he's just filming. Never, he's never gonna be unplugged.
Yeah, it's very. There was a very significant one that shows his lack of wanting to help compared to his wanting to film a situation. I mean, the only funny thing was the irony of the way it happened. Yeah. Going back to the beginning of the movie, like there was a whole entire kind of replay kind of
recreation,
moment there. But they had little things here and there that I probably would have done differently, and obviously George Romero knows what the fuck he's doing. It's just there's certain little things that you're just like, that wasn't necessary.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably could have changed that a little bit, but you're never gonna get it perfection. But
exactly, and this was a low budget film too.
Yeah, it was overall a fun movie. It was a $2 million, filmed in Canada, so more than likely there was funding through Canada, because they have those programs over there that once a movie gets approved to filmed in Canada, they do help provide some funding to film in their area, in their land.
Yeah. And while it was filming, I think it's mentioned that it was his third film being shot in Toronto. They didn't say the zombie film, but just his third film overall, which was nice to know. What else was it? What you were saying about the news anchors throughout the film, which I didn't see that or pick up what Randall did about the other directors and famous.
Well, I didn't know at the time it was them. Like, I didn't know it was their voices, but I did recognize. Like, I did pay attention to a lot of like the little details that they were doing with those things. So there were short news clippings and things like that where they had media outlets giving information of what was happening, and like one of them was like a British voice talking about how the dead are coming back to life, and if we can't stop this within 3 days, the death toll is going to be
to 100, like
whatever, and in 10 days it'll be 100%, like everyone's gone. And then there's another clip later on where you're hearing Hispanic voice talking about the concerns of, people are no longer concerned with crossing the border. They're more concerned now with the dead crossing the border of life and death.
And
then we end up finding out later on that the voices of some of these. Stephen King was voiced the preacher.
The preacher.
That was over the radio trying to say a prayer, telling everybody to get on your knees and pray. Get on your fucking knees and pray.
Yeah, that was funny.
And yeah, we find out later on there was so Stephen King was one of the voices. Simon Pegg was one of the voices. Guillermo del Toro was the one talking about the immigrants.
There was more, but they don't show. They just show those three.
Yeah,
I think Wes Craven was one of them, but I can't. We gotta go back.
Well,
he
got thanked. I don't know if he was part of it.
Yeah, I looked it up. He was part of it.
Yeah,
but you just gotta go back.
Yeah, so they didn't provide maybe Wes Craven didn't sign off on them adding that in the.
Yeah, because in the beginning it shows you a little paragraph saying that you might recognize some of these voices. If you don't, we're not gonna show you all of them, etc.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but it was awesome to get that because you got to see how Romero recorded these, and
it was amazing.
It hit special with me more so because since I am an audio engineer and I worked with things like this before, like it hit with me differently. It was like, man, like that's a fucking beautiful world to work in, to like be able to do shit like that where you're grabbing audio clips and you're getting it from these kind of people like Simon Pegg or whatever, and you're knowing this is going to be used in this film. We're going to cut it here. We're going to do this, and immediately like my audio engineering like fucking mindset went into effect. And I'm like, oh, this is where I would have cut this. And it played into that for me personally. But it was awesome to see how they did that, how they recorded it, or not even see it but hear it. But really awesome work by Romero when it came to that.
You could tell how well respected he is. Just the relationships he has between all these actors and directors. You know, they're like, oh, do the line again. And he's like, oh, fantastic. He's just laughing between one another, like, friends, talking over the phone. He's like, oh, I'll see you later. I'll call you later. I'll text you, etc. So
reality, when you look at it, like, they owe a lot. Not owe a lot, but, they give a lot of credit for, him really expanding the universe of horror a bit,
Yeah.
Because from before that, all we had was, like, Dracula, Wolfman, Mummy, and Frankenstein. We didn't have too much else, that was really beyond that. And then you give us something that's unexpected, something that we never thought of, which was the dead coming back to life in this form. Not, getting shocked into life by lightning.
Yeah, which is more, like, again, zombies, I don't believe it, but compared to, like, the Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, this is more believable. It's humans coming back to life. But another thing besides these awesome directors and actors being part of the film, there's also like 2 or 3 actors that have been in George A. Romero's Dead series. They appear in different films. So there's a lot of questions in the fan base and George A. Romero's fan base that if any of these movies connect. In some degree they do, but we found out one character here. He is in Land of the Dead, which came out.
Sean Roberts, which plays Tony Ravello in Diary of the Dead. He plays a character in
Land of the Dead.
Land of the Dead.
Called Mike, which came out, I think, 2 years before Diary. So this is basically like a kind of like a prequel-ish type thing.
And then there was another actor named Alan Van Sprang who played a military character. He was also in Land of the Dead.
Yeah.
You said that you thought he played a military person in that movie as well.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'd have to look more into detail into that, but again, we watch these movies and immediately come over here and start going on live. Like we don't go into further crazy details. We just kind of go with the flow of us experiencing this movie.
Yeah, just like ODB, we do it raw, So we don't go like, oh, we know everything, or we go and edit and stuff. No, it's it's live. We just have fun with it. Whether we miss anything or say anything incorrectly, hey, fuck it.
I mean, there are awesome little tidbits here to point out. So you have to pay close attention to the little details. Like I said, like I paid attention to the newscast and things like that. There was one that Mac noticed, which was they were showing the TV and they were interviewing what would be the chief of the police, and he was like, "Wait, was that George Romero?" And yeah, indeed it was. It was George Romero playing the chief of police, talking about the situation and what's going on. And then not only that, but then in the scene when they're in the hospital, which was a very Walking Dead kind of like image, And this becomes like ironic at this point because one of the surgeons inside that they end up shooting in the head ends up being none other than Greg Nicotero, who is one of the primary people involved in Walking Dead. He's done a lot of the zombie makeup. He is also the person who works on Creepshow for Shudder. But he is the person who acts as one of the zombies in the hospital.
The first one,
the male.
Nice, okay.
The male surgeon that comes out. So, you know, a lot of little fun tidbits that happen in the movie, and you could tell this is George Romero kind of going into what he wanted to do with this franchise. You know, whether it was going to become the success of Night of the Living Dead, I think he cared little about. It was more so like, I just want to do what I love, and what I love to do is this right here, which is independent style filmmaking and the story that I love to bring out. And this was what he wanted to do. And I can tell just by the performance alone in the film, just by the work that went into it, the supporting cast that he got from so many people like Simon Pegg, like Guillermo, like Wes Craven, and all these other great ambassadors of horror. Ultimately, he gets to do what he wants in this movie, and he just loved it. You can tell he loved it. Well, not only that, we saw that clip of him going back to the roots in the bonus stuff in the DVD, features, and the special features, where he talks about, like, I just wanted to go back to the roots of what I wanted to do.
Not exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little, I wouldn't say cameo, but there's a scene where there's I guess a news shot, and there is reports of an audio from the actual Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
So that was I didn't catch it, but in special features it is said.
Yeah, they pointed out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they pointed out that in a certain area there is a good use of original footage to a degree of the original movie that birthed the zombie that we know now.
Yeah, and again, it was shot in Toronto in about less than a month, I think it was shot.
Yeah, 4 weeks actually. It was literally 4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 weeks, and that's what Romero wanted to do, just shoot it quickly and, you know, edit with the CGI as much as possible.
Yeah, and one thing that you noticed in the information was that George also felt that the cast worked so well and was functioning so well with the script that they could have just done one long single take of the entire movie and wouldn't have had to stop. That's how well he believed the cast was working, because they do mostly come from theater background.
Yeah.
So they're used to just doing continuing storyline instead of having a break. So he felt that they could have done that if it would have been something that would have needed to be done or wanted to be done. Ultimately, that's not what they did. And I mentioned this before, the one difference between the found footage film that George Romero did compared to like Paco and Jaime with REC was that he broke up a lot of the footage using things like cell phone and CCTV. So there's a lot of surveillance kind of footage that plays in the role in Diary of the Dead. There's also one weird kind of scene with the cell phone. To me it came out of place because I get that it was supposed to be cell phone footage.
Yeah.
But the appearance of it looked more like a video game to me than an actual thing. So that was the one scene that for me I was just like, that looked weird, and then immediately I was like, man, I hope the rest of the movie isn't like that, because that's gonna suck if that's what they're gonna do. But it felt like a scene out of like one of those clip scenes that you would get in Resident Evil, in the fucking PlayStation 3 version of Resident Evil, where it's that and you just see zombies and they're getting run over.
No, exactly. And actually, there's a reference of Resident Evil with this film, but I don't remember it per se. Something else, again, we also debate about, you know, the idea about REC and Diary of the Dead, but there was an interview that George did say that he thought about a found footage zombie film way before Land of the Dead, so before 2005.
Yeah.
So who knows what's who had the idea first. But overall, both movies are great.
Yeah,
I believe so.
yeah, they did a really good job with it. I enjoyed it very much. I feel it had good jump scares in it too. I got caught a couple of times. It was fun.
Yeah,
it was a fun movie. I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, obviously, you're not going to compare it to the classics, even though Night of the Living Dead holds up differently. It just holds up as a classic more than holding up as something that's going to scare the shit out of you. Because you watch the original one, you don't really get scared of it. It's like when you watch the original Halloween, you don't get scared of it. It's just iconic.
Yeah, it's not like jump scare, but there is like, I mean, for me, I put myself in certain movies, and you do get that thrill, sensation, suspense. But yeah, speaking about Night of the Living Dead, the 1990 remake with Tony Todd, that's the only remake George actually approved to be made. That's another amazing movie.
Yeah.
Not sure you do have that one? No, I don't either.
I'm not sure. I have a couple of Night of the Living Dead things. I gotta look. But yeah, I mean, let's go to the primary question here, though.
Yes, sir.
Who are you in that RV?
In Diary?
Because there is plenty of choices there. You have a professor that apparently has a lot of military background nobody knew about. But he's always drunk.
Yeah, hence the alcoholic.
Yeah. Then you have the jock that always remains in denial until things happen literally right in front of his eyes. You have the guy who does not want to put the camera down. You have Elliot that kind of just, hangs around.
A little geek nerd, maybe.
Yeah. And then you have Ridley, who runs away.
Yeah, with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Francine or something like that.
Yeah.
Debbie, the girlfriend of Jason. She's always questioning why he's always on camera.
Yeah.
We're talking about the males. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, unless, I don't know.
We'll all have a feminine.
We live in a different world.
We'll all have a feminine side. But not mixing the characters. I'd probably say Tony. Let's say this is the first time ever I never heard about zombies. There's never been zombie films. You just hear there's an outbreak. People, the dead are coming back to life.
Yeah.
I'll probably be in denial, but like being the outbursts, have little tantrums, and then I saw. Oh, speaking about tantrums, the confidential scenes or conference scenes.
We're gonna get to that.
Okay, perfect.
I was gonna make to that.
So yeah, I see myself in Tony. What about you?
I think I'd be the same thing. I think I'd be the Tony guy. I'd be the guy that at first I'm like, there's no fucking way, man. What do you mean dead are coming back to life? And then he goes through the same thing we went through for a long time here not long ago, which is like the media is bullshitting us about everything. That's the the story we got there was like, no, this is the media being the media. There's no way it's that bad. And then you start realizing, oh, it might be that bad. And there you see, holy shit, it's that bad.
Right in front of your
I
eyes,
might need to kill some people, and then you have to kill some people to survive. But yeah, I feel like I probably would have been in that same line of that, where it would have been denial to realization to almost having to do everything to survive.
Exactly.
But yeah, one of the things that we did want to point out, which was in the special features, which was the confessionals, and it was that Jason had convinced all those that were in the RV, all his colleagues,
classmates and colleagues,
to do a confessional style. For those who watch The Office, you would know what I mean by confessional style, because it's those
to camera,
direct to camera.
Who are you? What's going through your head?
So I feel like those clips would have been more interesting used in the movie. They would have made sense. They would have helped build the characters a little bit further than when we got in the film itself, because some characters like Elliot we didn't get a lot of.
Yeah, characters you didn't care about or you hated. After listening to them, I actually enjoyed all of them overall.
Yeah, it gave them more appeal. And there was, in the movie, they did a lot of clips of cutting out from what was going on to having narration being done by Deb. and I felt like that narration was unnecessary through the entire film. It could have been culminated to the end of the film.
Yeah, because you just hear her narrating, you're like, she's the only lone survivor.
That's what you believe at the time.
Yeah, so
not spoiling anything, but all you hear is her voice coming in and saying things during just like shots of news footage and shit like that. And I feel like the confessionals would have fit better than those blocks and would have helped the movie more.
Correct.
But I'm glad that the special features had it and we got to experience it anyway. And it added a little bit more for us at the end, even though it wasn't part of the movie, but it helped advance it a little bit further. It didn't give us extra information. Maybe a little bit with Elliot was the only one that we got a little bit of extra with, but nothing that would have changed the story at all or done anything differently. Just would have given more image to some of the characters,
or the way that the thought process,
or
why they act a certain way, why they did certain things. But yeah, again, this is just something beautiful that DVDs began to have. The special features, maybe some VHSs had at the end of the film.
Yeah.
But check out the special features in some movies, and so you might find extra things, little interesting facts here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get to the ratings, sir. You go first.
Okay, so for Diary of the Dead, I think I place it at a nice, comfortable.
We'll be back with these messages.
Damn, I'm trying to, because I'm between two numbers. I'm trying to see but I think I have to do 6. 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
And the only reason I put it, I was gonna think 7, but the only thing that puts it at a 6 for me is because watching the movie as it is, with the narration breaks, kind of fucks me up a bit. There was little things here and there that bugged me, which was we go back to the same phrase of repetitive staging. Yeah. 72,000 hits.
Yeah, so Jason
not even
Crane,
gonna detail that. No, don't even talk about it. Just 72,000 hits.
Yeah, he's just focused on recording and
the way that they kind of make the cameraman a bit of an antagonist kind of fucked me too a bit. Like they could have done that. Could have been handled a little bit differently, where it didn't seem like everyone was ragging on the same guy. I mean, obviously, it did make him kind of a piece of shit at some points, but different. So, your rating?
Again, another movie I enjoyed watching it with you, with friends. So, my rating has gone a little bit up. So, I'd say a good 5 as well, like you.
You going 5?
A 5, yeah,
I went
halfway.
6, so you're going 5.
Oh, you went 6? I'm sorry. So,
no, yeah, if you're going to go 5, it's fine.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I'll keep it. I don't mind.
Yeah.
So 5 out of 10. Again, I just didn't like the whole switching, like you were saying.
Yeah.
From the camera to the cell phone to the security cameras. It's just that it's like, just pick pick one or the other.
Yeah. There's a lot of CCTV stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the only time it made sense for me was the house at the end. That's the only time it made any sense.
The security cameras, okay.
But there was other times where it made no sense to me.
No, exactly. And that whole cell phone camera, it
was weird, that one clip.
I get it to use a cell phone camera, but the way it was just shot or shown.
Yeah, the way it was shown.
I was like,
it almost looked like it was out of size, too, with the rest of the film. Yeah. Because like everything was shot this, and they go to the cell phone clip, and it goes into this size.
Black bars.
Which I get it, because the idea is that this is a person who grabbed all this footage and edited it together, and it would change size, but it just throws you off in a movie in that setting. And I understand the concept. Like if I were to actually edit a cell phone video into this, it might, it's going to look different. It's not going to meet the same ratio. So I get that, but it just throws it off a bit.
That threw me off. Again, this is just personal opinion. And again, George he wanted to use a lot of CGI. I don't like CGI that much. So there's a lot of it used in blood splatter, the decaying of the zombies. So now that was a little irritating for me, but just my own personal opinion.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Again, after the confidential footage, I like the characters more. Before I was just hating on them.
Yeah.
Like, but 5 out of 10. That's my rating. So.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. And then we're gonna finish off with a quick 3-minute little review here.
Oh, before we get to that, I'm sorry.
Well, we have to get to it too quick because we have down to.
We gotta tell them where they can watch this. Huh?
We can't watch it anywhere.
I mean, this one, Diary.
We'll add it to the. If you want to watch it, just look at the list.
Yeah.
We have the list on the link tree. But we're gonna run out of time, and we're not extended yet to getting the full 4 hours. Did it fall hard?
No, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah, we have to rush it because of that, and I don't want to risk us not getting to it before it suddenly cuts off on us. If it does cut off on us, so if this cuts off on us, we're sorry. Thank you. Join us next time. If it doesn't, we're going to be talking right now, real quick, about this lovely little film called
1990s
Repossessed.
Repossessed. As you can see by the cover, you see that here. You see this Toonie Terrors figure right here. It's mainly a parody of The Exorcist.
Yep.
So you got the amazing Leslie Nielsen. May he rest in peace.
Yep.
You may know him from the Naked Gun series.
Yep.
Scary movie. What, 3? 2? No, 3. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 3.
3.
Wait, was he in 3? Wasn't it James Woods?
Oh yeah.
Scary movie. Yeah, it was James Woods in 3.
So then, but yeah, he's on these. Oh, Airplane.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I got that confused.
Yeah, mainly, if anything, all the Naked Guns.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody's going to remember all the Naked Guns with him. But a lot of slapstick comedy when it comes to Leslie Nielsen. One of the better slapstick comedians of the later generations, not going as far back as Laurel and Hardy and Three Stooges and Abbott and Costello. From the more modern, he was pretty much the king of slapstick and that kind of comedy and taking things to different areas where you're just they really went there.
Oh, exactly. It's a lot of what I love is just his comedy is not. What to say? It's not
it's juvenile. It's juvenile comedy. It's juvenile. It's childish juvenile comedy that you would consider or call stupid humor. There was a lot of things in this movie that just made you be like, okay. This wasn't the best work that Leslie Nielsen put together. I guess the fun part about it is bringing back
lovely Linda Blair.
Yeah, Linda Blair comes back to play a possessed person, and this is kind of her taking a shot at the own franchise that launched her career because it is making fun of what they did with the follow-up for Exorcist 2, right? When she was already kind of more grown up and
that movie
came back, right? So it was kind of taking a shot at that, and then they kind of made fun of the spectacle of TV evangelists. They kind of take shots at hospitals. They kind of take shots at a lot of things. They did a lot of humorous things. It was a fun movie with a lot of jokes, but there was a lot of poor quality to it as well.
Of course. It's just a fun movie overall.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you could do 90 minutes of just jokes after jokes, you're good. You're in good for a good laugh.
Yeah, had a box office of 1.4 million.
Oh wow!
So not a very good box office. I don't remember exactly what the budget was for it, but I don't think the budget.
I don't think they made. Yeah.
I don't think they made their money back. I think it was something where they spent more than they made back. But you had Ned Beatty also as Ernest Weller.
That was would you say you're Ed and Lorraine? No, right? They weren't demon.
Yeah, they were kind of in that vein, in that same kind of thing, but they were the TV evangelists, so they were faking it, even though a lot of people, or there is some little background information that some people believe Ed and Lorraine were faking it.
You might remember him he was the voice of in Toy Story 3, Lotso, the bear.
Yeah.
He was that voice. So
yeah, he passed away this year too. Yeah, so rest in peace to Ned Beatty. And then you also had cameos from Jesse Ventura and Gene Ackman when they had a little WWF and that
it was
references.
Leslie Nielsen versus Linda Blair.
Yeah.
priest against demon.
Yeah.
Or possession girl.
Yeah.
Possessed girl.
Yeah.
Just the commentary was just awesome. Seeing Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yeah, they had a lot of fun with it. I think they did a good job with the movie itself, with what they wanted to do.
For sure.
And we're back.
Oh, we're live again.
Yeah.
Caught me off guard, but we're back.
This is what I was talking about. This is why I was trying to rush that ending right there, because Instagram needs to answer me on why. Why, oh why do we get cut off at 1 hour when we know that the limit's 4?
Yep.
Don't understand it. Don't get it, but it is what it is. Now we can talk about Repossessed without the worry of the cutoff being that quickly. But, yeah, like we said, Repossessed.
Yeah, we found the worldwide gross is 1.3 million.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it says box office entirely, at least on Wikipedia, it might be more on point there, was 1.4. The budget is still what I can't find the information on exactly, which was the full budget on the movie itself. But, listen, definitely could have done some things better. Definitely love a lot of the homage they did to the original, to the first Exorcist that they did, or the first Exorcist movie in as a whole. Like they did the scene with the priest arriving at the home, kind of like the lighting with the smoky fog.
Oh, yeah.
They did that. They did the scenes with the bed. But they cracked the joke, you know, that when the bed was shaking, he goes on and like, turns off the bed.
Yeah.
So they kind of played that role a bit, and it was fun. It was interesting how they did that. That
spinning of the head.
Yeah, they did a lot of fun things with that. A lot of the puking stuff too.
Yeah, that's a given. But you were saying, like this was Linda Blair's like opportunity to get back at the original film. It's because she was.
Well, yeah, and she had a lot of issues with how the first one went for her physically, and not only her, but
the actress that played her mom.
Yeah, the actress that played her mom. They both had a lot of issues that, which is Ellen Burstyn. They both came out of there with a bit of trauma and physical trauma as well that affected their lives as a whole. Like Linda Blair, in the scenes where she is on the bed and it is going up and down and all that, when you hear those screams in the movie itself, those are her actual screams in real life of actual pain. She actually got extensive back damage in her lower back and some, I believe it was her lower back and some in her neck area too. She had some actual damage that required surgery. She has never been physically the same since. And you're talking about a person who was a child when they filmed that movie. And Ellen, who played her mom, Chris McNeil, in a scene where
she's pushed
back and the dresser's coming at her in that pullback, she actually got some lower back damage as well.
Because I think it was the crew, they pulled her with a rope or something, a string.
Yeah, and
they pulled too hard,
and her scream of pain, also a real scream of pain in real life. Like, it was a legitimate scream. And the part that kind of, like, messed with Linda the most there was the fact that, at the end of the day, the director was like, that was the great take. We're keeping that in the movie. And it kind of fucked her. It was like, so you're going to use my real life pain.
Yeah.
And, I get it. It was kind of fucked up how they handled it. It was not
professional at all.
Not professional at all.
Yeah.
Not professional.
That would have been I would have felt the same way, you know. But fun fact too. So in the original Exorcist, she's called Reagan.
Yeah.
And this the spoof right here in Repossessed, she goes by the name of Nancy.
Yeah.
So it was like a little joke about Nancy Reagan, You know, Ronald Reagan's wife.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And also too, Ned was it Beatty or Beatty?
Beatty.
He actually appears in Exorcist #3. So that's good, you know, using the characters. I mean,
Exorcist 3 is the one where the guy's in the insane asylum, right?
No, I'm sorry, Exorcist 2. The Hederick, I think it's pronounced. Yeah, but Exorcist 3 is in the asylum, remember? So, part 2 then. Ned Beatty appears in that.
Exorcist 2, yeah, the Heretic.
Heretic, yeah.
Yeah, so, which was the movie they were kind of bashing a bit too.
Yeah.
With this one, because it was supposed to be a version of a girl that was earlier possessed and getting repossessed again, which is what happens in Heretic, right? Like in Exorcist 2, it's that Linda Blair's demons come back, right?
Yeah, Pazuzu or...
Yeah, Pazuzu.
Yeah, so, I mean, part 2 I wasn't a big fan.
I love Pazuzu in the first movie.
Oh, of course. And part two I didn't really like it. I wasn't a big fan.
I'm not a Satanist, just as a fact.
Nobody's thinking that but you, and probably one person who you and that.
Somebody else, yeah. It was like, oh, he
likes
Pazuzu? Well, then we know what the fuck he's like.
Right? He's like, I like Saturn, he likes Pazuzu. We're not in the same, you know.
Saturn is Santa in an anagram.
Oh, shit. So this movie is PG-13, but we do get about 2 or 3 scenes of nudity. Breasts, it says.
It was PG-13 for the era.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, back in the day, PG-13, you could say, you say certain bad words.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that's
true.
Wow. And it was like,
my
child that's 13 should not see breast.
Oh, honey, I've been seeing breasts since I could.
Yeah.
Cut.
Yeah. But listen, Repossessed. If you're gonna go ahead and enjoy it with some herbal enhancement, it might be a better version of the movie for you. Mm-hmm. It's just funny. It's fun. It has a lot of like childish, juvenile kind of jokes, which you would enjoy more in that kind of mind state. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that would probably make it a more enjoyable film.
Yeah.
But some of the slapstick, some of the stuff is just kind of like, you know,
oh,
at
exactly.
times. But since we did cut out early, I did want to go ahead and say what we couldn't say in the last one, which is
where you could watch Diary of the Dead.
Diary of the Dead. You can watch it on Tubi for free, on Vudu for free, and on Pluto TV for free.
Ooh,
if you have Prime, you can watch it on Prime. If you want to pay for some reason, you can do it on Google Play, you can do it on YouTube, and you can do it on Apple TV.
Yeah, or also too, if you want to pay and support us, we do have the Your Mama's Shop on Mercari. We do have some movies, horror movies, up for sale. If you do look at the price, just hit me up. We can work something with you. I don't mind at all. You know, just sharing, you know, my love for horror, his love for horror with you guys. So yeah, if you want the physical copy, if you're not a fan of physical copy, like I said, there are streaming services that are free. Or
if you do, you go on the link tree. On the link tree, there is a link to the Yo Mama on there. So if you want to go and hit up the link tree in our profile, in our bio, you're gonna see one that says Yo Mama Stuff, and you can go there and go directly to Yo Mama Stuff page and message him directly,
or DM us right here on our Ram Film Reviews Instagram page. Just let us know and what you're into. I'll give you a list of the horror movies we have.
Yeah,
and we go from there on.
And Repossessed isn't anywhere for free right now.
Ooh.
You can watch it on YouTube for $5.99, on Google Play for $5.99, on Prime for $5.99, or on Vudu for $5.99.
That's insane. That's funny because all the other movies are like $2 or $3.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really hard to come by, in my opinion, from thrifting.
Yeah.
So I was really lucky to find that. This, for now, it's in my collection. Could be selling, I don't know, but if you want it, just let us know and we'll think about it.
Oh, yeah.
What's
okay,
up?
so the other joke, or the kind of joke that they did with Repossessed was Leslie Nielsen's name.
What was his name?
His name was Father May I.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It was like the Father May I, and it was like they used that as a joke a couple of times. So it did a couple of things like that played its own little, you know, again, juvenile, childish kind of humor. So
like play on words, give it to
yeah. So There's a lot of things like that were fun about.
It was
the movie.
funny too. He's like a teacher, but he's like an exorcist.
Retired.
Yeah, retired exorcist.
Yeah.
And he's teaching. I think they come to him like, "Oh, we have a job for you." And he had dealt with Nancy character back in the day.
Just like well,
yeah,
when I like
when they were younger.
Like, he was. Did they bring back the original? I don't remember if they did that in Exorcist too. It's been so long. In Exorcist,
I don't really remember.
Who was the father or the priest that came and and worked with Regan?
So in Repossessed, he has a flashback, or there's a scene where he's a much younger person. Whatever. he has black hair. He's younger, and he's working with the demons and whatnot. And I think after that he retired, and so it's coming back to haunt him, and he's like unsure to accept the job or not, but he does. To try to help Nancy here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was listen, I laughed. I laughed a few times. There were some good jokes in there. I won't say it's the best kind of Leslie Nielsen movie. For me, I always prefer like either Naked Gun or Airplane. Like Airplane for me is so great.
Yeah, another film I just remembered Leslie Nielsen is in. It's a Disney movie, Mr. Magoo, live action.
Yeah.
That was also, again, not the greatest, but
he was a perfect Magoo though.
Yeah, it had its funny moments, and again, like I said, Randall said it made us laugh, and for me, if a movie makes me laugh, it has something going on for it, in my opinion.
Father Merrin. So Father Merrin does come back in Exorcist 2. So they did do that. Where in this one, in Repossessed, it was basically just a full-on parody of Exorcist 2, with a little bit of homage to Exorcist 1. That's interesting on those little details that they did. But final rating on Repossessed for you, because we have to get to that.
Again,
1 to 10. It's stated at 1 to 10. Listen, full on honest review.
Oh, of course,
full on honest review. We don't bullshit it. We don't pity it.
Yeah.
Leslie Nielsen may have passed away, rest in peace, but we are honest with the films.
Oh, of course. Again, it's a film. If I wanted, thankfully I waited to watch that with you. Overall, funny to a certain degree. Of course, it's 1990, different era of comedy jokes. Comedy jokes, the same thing, Mac. What the hell are you talking about? But slapstick, all that. I give it a 4 out of 10. It's not, to me, it's not low for the type of film it is.
Yeah.
With 5 in the middle, it's way too high, but it made me laugh here and there. Leslie Nielsen, seeing him, Linda Blair, Ned Beatty or whatever.
Ned Beatty?
Beatty, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It was nice to see them. 4 out of 10.
I think I land in the same space. I think I do 4 out of 10 for it as well. Again, I always enjoy slapstick. I enjoy good slapstick. They had fun and good slapstick in this one. There was some that was cringy. It is 1990, so even then, it still never gets a high critical review at the end either. It is one of the lower reviewed Leslie Nielsen movies.
A lot of critics didn't like it, which is understandable.
Yeah. But they did a lot of fun stuff, and I enjoyed it.
Overall, it made fun of a movie we enjoy, a classic horror movie.
Yeah. And it didn't make me hate The Exorcist or anything. It didn't feel like it was just The Exorcist sucks and this is why. It's just a parody of it. It's like watching Scary Movie, And Scary Movie for me is fucking great, at least the first two. But it's in that vein, and I felt like they did a funny job with it. Some things they could have done better. Some things they could have. Maybe it was the budget. Maybe for reasons that we don't know, they couldn't do certain things. But it was an enjoyable movie. So 4 out of 10. It's a good one to just sit at home and watch while you drink some hot chocolate or eat some ice cream for the fuck of it.
Your bar mitzvah,
Yeah. But all in all, fun movie. 4 out of 10 for me.
So what we're gonna try to do next time, update the fan choice. What was it called? The fan selection movie.
Yeah, we're gonna be updating the poll for voting for next film for us to watch by you guys who watch us.
Yeah.
We want you guys to give us options on what to watch from what we have.
Yeah, I think we're gonna downsize it.
Yeah,
there was too many options, and unfortunately, we do apologize for not actually watching the film. Well, we did watch one of them, which was Transylvania, but we didn't actually watch the highest.
Repossessed was the other one.
True.
The other,
but the highest were
Blackula and this one. It was tied.
Okay, that's what we did do it. Okay.
Yeah, no, we followed through. The only thing we haven't done Blackula yet. True. We still have to do Blackula. So we're gonna do Blackula, and we're also gonna update the poll. We're gonna do various posts to try and give you guys an idea of the upcoming choices that you'll have, and then we'll put out the poll for you guys to go ahead and choose one of those movies. Share the poll with your friends. Let people know if you've seen the movie before and you want to vote it because you want us to react to it. Most of what we're putting out there is things we haven't seen, or if we've seen it, it's been a long fucking time and we don't remember a damn thing.
And if you want to be part of one of these reviews, let us know beforehand. We should go DM us. We'll talk it out. Well,
yeah, we'll have to figure out how we'd work that out.
Well, let's say this movie's up on Tubi and be like, oh, look, John, it's up on Tubi. Watch it. Let's say before this day, we will talk and we'll go live. That's it.
Yeah, no, we figure it out because the microphone plays a role.
What's up?
We'll talk about it later. But
oh, true.
There is things that we can do, and we want to arrange and work out. And soon we'll be doing things through Twitch as well. And once we do that, it'll give us more of an opening to being able to do things with people joining in as well, because that'll just be a Zoom call. So it'll give us more of an opportunity to do more of a movie party type of thing with more people. And that'll be fun because like that we can watch the movie with the person as well.
We'll work it out.
Ultimately, we'll get to that, and we're always going to be working on the little kinks and things to make things better and improve on what we're doing here. And we always ask you guys to let us know in the comments how you're feeling about the reviews, how you if you've watched these movies because of the reviews, and how you're reacting to it. I still want somebody to reach out and say, I fucking watched Otis because of what we saw with you, and holy fuck, this movie is great, or whatever. Or you guys are stupid. How can you say REC is a great movie? It is stupid to me. Whatever you want to say.
Agree, disagree, want to hear it all.
Yeah, we're okay with it. We're okay with it. We don't care. We're not going to be... we're not going to get hurt feelings. We're not going to feel that from this, because
we'll cry off camera, okay?
Yeah. Hurt feelings.
Yeah, let us know, like, how, if we're talking too low, we're doing the Kevin Smith, we're talking with our hands, or,
whatever you want to discuss with us. But ultimately, like we said before, and Mac mentioned it in the last video that we did yesterday, that we haven't spoken a lot about it recently, but, a lot of this has been a benefit for me and Mac when it comes to a mental health kind of part of us, The world's been weird this last few years for a lot of people. A lot of people have gone through depression, anxiety, a lot of different emotions, whether it's an extra amount of sadness, extra amount of frustrations or angers or whatever emotional dilemma you may be going through, whatever. This project that we're doing here when it comes to like watching these movies and just getting on here and talking how we talk amongst ourselves. And yes, when I talk like this, I talk like this in real life when I say things like amongst ourselves and shit.
He uses these big words. Me, caveman. He, businessman.
This is what happens. And maybe it's like I've told you before, like it might be like my whole background in radio or whatever it may be. But it does play effect on how I like talk.
Oh, exactly. But I'm always like, I was like, wait, Randall, what does that word mean? I'll be like, oh, this and that. I was like, Google. But yeah, like Randall said, whatever you're going through, we either may not understand, we may have an idea, you know, we could relate. Even if we can't relate, you can relate with horror movies with us just hanging out.
Yeah.
Look how, you know, we've brought in special guests so far, Armando and Elizabeth.
Yep.
You know, from...
And we're going to have more. Angel's going to be coming by.
Yeah, we got to get with Angel from Retroitis. So,
Yep.
from the two guests, I know they've had fun.
Yep.
Even if you don't know what the hell you're going through right now, like I said, come hang with us. And, you know,
let us be an excuse for a distraction.
Exactly. We distract our own lives with what we're doing here.
Yep.
It's definitely helped me tremendously. You know, I'm not thinking about what the issues I have. Is just let's watch a movie, hang out, eat some food, and just talk about the movie right after.
Yep.
And, you know, that's basically it. Just hang out. That's what the Ram fam is about.
Yeah, so, you know, it was just kind of like pointing that out again. We've said it a few times in the earlier videos that this is like the whole stance behind what we're doing here is that this has become more of a project of us trying to, not trying, but actually finding a way to find some mental peace and not forget, but find a space of just clarity and enjoyment, and it's something that both me and him share as a fascination that we love, you know, horror movies and watching movies that we've never heard of before and just experiencing them for the first time because fuck it, what else are we gonna do? And then get on here and share the shit with you, and maybe we're telling you that your favorite movie's a piece of shit, but, you know, to you it's not. That's fine. That's fine. Like, my favorite movie of all time, people will laugh at me, but my favorite movie of all time, no, you know, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. My favorite movie of all time is Austin Powers.
Okay, I thought you were going there.
Yeah, I know what you're going to go for.
The Fleet Street way.
I know where you're going to go.
Austin
that is
Powers?
one of my favorite fucking musicals.
Yeah, baby.
Sweeney Todd.
Austin Powers, yeah.
But, you know, Austin Powers is by far one of my favorite movies of all time. And people will look at me like, yo, what, you mean the guy that's, you know, supposed to be like a British, a super British James Bond with ugly ass teeth and shit, and that talks about his like libido all the time? Hey, yeah, that guy, you know? And it is, for me, it's my favorite movie, but nobody's going to change my train of thought with that.
No, exactly. And again, this is just two friends that we're going to come up here and just talk normal. Whether we know our shit or not, we're going to find out.
Yeah.
Even if we miss some things, we're not here like, oh, we're professionals. Or we're going to criticize or ridicule you because you haven't seen a popular movie amongst the horror movie community or whatever.
No,
forget that. You know, I've seen popular movies like recently for the first time, and I'm glad I exposed myself to watch it. You know, I'm not gonna be like, you know, you don't know what you know about that. I hate that.
No.
Like,
and this is the thing. Like, for me, like, I love the horror genre. Most of what I watch is usually like the older shit, and there's a lot of things I don't know about, and I'm experiencing a lot of things because of this new venture with Mac, and it's become like something that I love for that reason. Like, I'm experiencing things like Battle Royale, like Noroi the Curse. I'm experiencing a lot of things that I've never thought of before. Diary of the Dead, it's George Romero. I fucking love George Romero. I did not know about this movie because I didn't follow the franchise that like incredible. I wasn't so into it like this where like I wanted to know every single fucking detail. Like, I've seen Land of the Dead, but I didn't know about Diary.
It's gonna happen. You know, even if we don't, you know, you love something, you're not gonna know the entirety of it. And looking up the, would you say, like the chronological Dead movies?
Yeah.
We did find on IMDb a fan actually made his timeline zombie movies, and there's 55 titles, which I'm saving, which I want to get into. But there's films there I have yet to watch.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned to Randall, which he didn't know about. There's I believe Day of the Dead 3D or something, or 3D.
Yeah, with Sid Haig.
With Sid Haig from, you know, Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects.
One of my favorite
aka
people
Captain
ever.
Spaulding. So he's part of it, and so now, you know, I told him that he's like, oh, he wants to be more into that timeline.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
just finding little things out, and it's okay if you don't know shit.
Yeah, I fucking love Sid Haig. You know, he gave us one of the best fucking clowns ever in Captain Spaulding. So definitely would want to watch it simply because of Sid Haig.
Yeah, you met him personally, right?
Yeah, I did meet him. Awesome guy.
Awesome. It never happened to me, but glad
met
he had that
him,
experience.
I think it was like 2 or 3 years before he passed. Unfortunate he passed, but he was on the last. You could see it when I met him. He was already kind of like frail. He was already kind of beaten down. There was never any information about how sick he was or what he was sick from until he passed. Was when like Rob came out and kind of gave a little bit of information, but we never really got the full story. He was able to come out and film what he filmed for the Three from Hell.
Well, you could tell, like, he was super skinny. And...
Yeah. He was not the same dude at that point, so they had to limit his shooting. They had to limit because of his appointments and all, and him physically not being able to do things. They had to limit him a lot in that movie, which was unfortunate because he was supposed to be a prominent character in it, and they had to handle it completely different because of his health. But he was awesome. I had him write one of the quotes from the movie, which was when he steals the car from the mom. Oh, did I stutter, bitch? Yeah, I made him write that on the side of it, which was fucking fun. You know.
Wait, from that the item right there.
Yeah, it's on that one. Unfortunately, like, since he was skinned, since he was unhealthy, his writing was a little bit more shaky, but enough for me to know that that's what I asked him to write.
Yeah,
and
the
he wrote what he
experience,
could.
you know, it was him. That's for you.
That's for me. No, that's never going anywhere. Like that will stay with me as a treasure trove for life. You know, he was an amazing person in person. You've only heard great stories about him from other people in the industry that have worked with him. So, you know, really love it, and seeing that he was part of anything in the Dead universe
it's gonna be
is
fun.
definitely something I want to watch. But yeah, ultimately, like I said, like this is fully just therapeutic when it comes to watching these movies, sharing it with somebody as awesome as Mac, which we both have like a fascination for these movies. We both have our own perspective on them. Even though it seems like we agree on a whole shit ton, trust me, there are certain details that it's like, I like this part, he didn't like certain parts, but at the end, the movie was still in the same level.
Yeah, like I said, well, we've said before in our reviews, a lot of these movies, it might be biased. It's just because we just enjoy the movie overall and how we're viewing it, the questions we're asking ourselves, each other. And there's gonna be times movies we're not gonna match our ratings, and there's gonna be movies one of us enjoys, the other doesn't, and that's totally fine. I can't wait for that.
All I have to do is bring a musical so you can see that we don't agree on everything.
Yeah,
I bring Sweeney Todd in here and forget it. He is not gonna go for it.
But no, I'm up for it. I'm up for a musical. It's just I don't know what to expect.
I'm just saying, like the review wise, he'd probably give Sweeney like a 1. And you know
what? Gonna be like 1 out of 10. I'm out.
Yeah, and I know one of the reasons is because it took like 30 minutes to get to the first death. So that was one thing. But I mean, again, we have fun. And
exactly.
And at the end, this is just an experience for us to enjoy and share with you guys, and expand it to whatever it can expand to. So if it stretches to a point where we're on Twitch, and we have, tiers of subscribers, and suddenly we have other things happening, we'll get to that point, and hopefully you guys join on for the ride. Those who follow the page already, those who run into the page later, and maybe are seeing this at a later point, the link tree will remain in the bio, so you can follow us wherever we're at, and support us in all our other endeavors, and just join along for the ride. Mental health awareness ride that we do here with these movies, and this Ram Film Reviews whole journey that's been birthed here from experiencing movies that we've picked up from thrifting, that we see through lists on streaming, or when I'm going through the list of the Fangoria 300 that Angel presented me to, and then we go from there. We just have fucking fun, man.
Yeah, like, again, about the mental health. even if you don't want to talk about it, you just, some days I was like, yo, Randall, let's do a review. That's just the way, me saying like, yo, like, time away from my mind.
Yeah.
Just, I come here, either I share what I'm going through, or I don't. It's just like, let's watch movies, and that's just me,
Yeah.
venting out what I'm going through. So, again, join us if you wish. Don't be scared,
I never scared. I
Bone
never
Crusher.
scared.
So, if you guys stuck around, saw this at a later time, we do thank you. What was funny? What you laughing? I want to laugh too.
No, I'm just laughing at that. Like, if you stuck around, if you care, whatever.
I know we always say we're gonna try to do this as early as possible.
It's never gonna happen.
It's just we get stuck. We get stuck and just watch movies and one after the other.
What happens is that. Feast, it made sense because we're gonna watch a trilogy all the way through and then do it. Rec, we did the same thing. We watched 1 through 3. Today it was like, okay, let's watch Rec 4, and then we're like, you know what, fuck it, let's watch Also Diary, and we can make it a whole found footage thing.
And that was it. And then he's like, oh wait, you forgot Repossessed, which we watched this a month or two ago.
I think it was like about a month ago.
So he wanted to input that rating and a little discussion about it. So I was like, yeah, why not? Hence the length of these reviews. And again, it's just, we gotta try to do it early. I gotta try to come to Randall's place a little earlier and
pause
and do that. Maybe when we watch one movie, do a review, then go and watch the other movie and do the second review.
That's not a bad idea. I mean, today it made more sense for us to wait till after we watched both because they were both in the same genre of like found footage.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though Rec 4 wasn't found footage, but film series wise.
And to make a connection between part 1 and Diary.
Yeah.
Both came out the same year, etc.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we'll figure out better ways to improve it. If you guys have any ideas for us, pitch it out. And like we've said before, if you guys have any movies that you know of, that you've witnessed, that you want us to talk about or see, go for it. There's just one movie, I can't remember the name of it now, that I will not watch ever again. Oh man, I can't remember the name of it.
We watched it?
No, I know I watched it, and I told you about it because we saw a trailer for it, and I was like, we will never watch this movie. Because it was so poorly acted.
Was it the one in Shudder?
I don't remember.
Was it the one with Tiny Tim?
Oh no, but I've never watched that again either. I think the Tiny Tim was called like Blood Feast or something like that, wasn't it?
Which the cover looks amazing, but
it does. But Blood Harvest. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Blood Harvest was the Tiny Tim one. Man, I can't remember the other one though. Is it in the list of one of the worst horror movies ever? It should be.
Because when you mentioned it, was the first time I ever heard of it.
Yeah, because it was. It looks like it was recorded on a camcorder and on one of the VHS camcorders. Wow,
that movie's there. I actually enjoyed it.
I think that might just be an image. I don't think that's in there. Man, I can't remember the name of it, but it's so fucking bad. It is so... Slenderman's in here. Damn it, what the fuck was it called?
Again, like some movies in that list that I enjoy, so...
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say, that better not be the one I'm thinking about.
No.
Because that one was actually good. But...
I doubt it's probably on Shudder. I know you were going through a list.
Yeah, we were going through a list on one of the streamings, and I saw it.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Nah. Nowadays, maybe, but back then, it's a movie I brought to him, and I'm not gonna mention it, but we gotta decide when to do it.
I mean, we can mention the movie.
Oh yeah, Fear.com.
Oh, wow, 0% for one missed call.
I don't think I ever watched it.
Japanese horror, isn't it?
But yeah, Fear.com. I enjoyed it. If you guys remember it, great. If you haven't, great, because we're going to do a review. And just wait on that. But yeah.
Oh my god, I can't.
It's on your shoulder.
I know, but I just want to
It's
figure it
It's not
out.
gonna be on there. It's one of those.
It's so bad.
It's not a well-known.
It's
horror
not.
movie,
It's
so
not. But
gonna
it's
be on
so
that list.
bad. I want to find it just so I can trash it so bad. It's so. It's like it has scenes where the guy's like, "So when are we gonna party?" Like he realizes he forgot his line and he left it in there.
Wow.
There's a guy who was literally drunk while filming the whole thing. And they didn't stop till he sobered up or anything. They just left it in there like that. And it was out of place.
No way.
There's people out of character. Like, it's so bad. And it's not intentional. It's just that bad.
I don't want to watch it, but I do at the same time.
Oh my god. See, but that's the thing. Like, it's like when I tell you, like, you need to watch The Room. If you've seen The Room and you know what I'm talking about, I think you know why I'm telling him he needs to watch The Room. Because The Room is so poorly acted. And it is not intentional, but the way it comes off is enough where you enjoy the film to a degree. Like in the end, it's cringeworthy. Like it's absolutely cringeworthy, but cringeworthy to a point where you just end up laughing at the end of it.
Yeah, he's told me more about the film, little backstory about the director. So
Nobody knows how old he really is.
It's a little interesting. So I might get to it one day.
Oh my god, I wish I could find out
But yeah,
what that movie was.
it's just awesome how we just panned out and somehow watched found footage after found footage movies, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
So hopefully we find out, you know, if we're watching a certain genre, certain type of film, you know, I mean, we might do that. We might look up more movies and see what we could do for you guys. Again, any ideas, it's welcome here.
Oh, another thing that we're gonna start implementing too is like small bonus footages of little extra details that we don't fit into our actual reviews. So we'll go back to certain movies and certain details. There were certain details that we left out of the Feast franchise that we wanted to discuss a little bit further, but with the limit that Instagram for some reason gives us of just 1 hour, we weren't able to fit in there. But you know, there was a little few extra details that we found out after the fact, which was things with the budget and things with the money returned and things like that. So there's going to be other more things that we're going to add to this. We're also going to be doing a little bit more insight onto who we are and to our preferences when it comes to the movies we like individually. We'll do more things like that as well, kind of like a bio work, kind of like the confessionals from the movies, you know,
right?
Something like that.
My name's Don Juan de la Nuche.
Yeah,
I've been watching horror movies since.
And this mustache doesn't come easy.
Oh, yeah.
But ultimately, like, you know, we're gonna try and give you guys more content and more things to enjoy here with us on Ram Film Reviews.
So this has been Randall.
Yep.
Mac.
Yep. And this is Ram Film Reviews.
Thank you for watching.
Enjoy and have a good night, or a good day, or a good morning, or whenever you watch this.
Stay beautiful, stay dead.
Still, dude, a fucking robot. Why would they do that in Feast?
Deja vu.
Fucking robot.